you're so good at this. Like if you want to try something new sexually, for example, you will describe that. You will share a video. You will let me know.
Been trying.
You will. I know that that's what you want to do at least. Whether I want to or not is my business. And that's another thing. It's setting boundaries as well.
Just give the boy something.
I see Kyle nodding. I would love to hear your input here.
Yeah.
Help me out.
I was nodding to like the setting boundaries part.
Mm-hmm. No. You were actually, Kyle, nodding to the give Kolter what he wants part.
That's not how sex
right?
works, but please go ahead.
I mean, as being a friend of Kolter as well.
Thank you.
I know. Wait, hold on.
I need to hear this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I want Kolter to be happy. But I also need Kolter to respect your boundaries.
Period.
Yeah. No, we can do both.
And he should be happy respecting
Just
my boundaries.
shift the boundaries.
Right.
Welcome to Playing House, the podcast about keeping your relationship sexy and secure. I am the cardiganed Kolter Bouchard.
Excellent. And I am Dominique Bouchard, and we are a real couple having real conversations, inviting you in as our third.
Real quick, what do you call that? Is that also a cardigan?
A vest.
Yeah.
A vest.
Nice. You look very medieval. Like a medieval thought, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Yeah. Well, Bridgerton is back.
Yeah.
And, House of Dragon's supposed to come back.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Look at that.
Very different timelines.
Nice.
But they all feel very medieval.
They do.
Can you read the intro? S'il vous plaît.
On today's episode, is the 7-year itch real? Is monogamy an old school concept that we need to move on from? And we're coming up on 10 years. How do we keep the flame alive? But first, let's check in with that shirt again. God, look at that thing. Look at that.
No, I'm going to need you to make eye contact.
All of it.
I'm going to need you to make eye contact.
Direct eye contact. Boys, you looking too?
Wow.
I'm a respectable man, so no.
Thank you. Pimp me out.
How you been? How's the week been?
Excellent.
Good for you.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
You are going to Alaska soon.
Sure am. I'm making eye contact.
One of those episodes, eh?
My eyes are watering. I need to blink, but I'm afraid if I blink, I'm going to look. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to Alaska soon.
And?
Very excited about that. Technically, am I in Alaska right now based on the recording schedule?
Yes.
Nice. Well, it's
or
great.
Maybe you're back, but by the time we're recording this,
you
are heading out.
There's some proximity to Alaska. Alaska's, listen, it's been great here in Alaska.
Oh, suddenly?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. They've got, listen to this. They got bugs the size of dogs.
Seriously?
Probably like black flies.
The size of dogs?
They're probably very large, the black flies.
So learning about different countries' bugs is just the worst for me.
Oh, God.
Like, I didn't want to ever visit Grenada because my mom always told me that their roaches are the size of shoes and they fly. Roaches are one of my greatest fears. And to imagine them the size of my shoe and flying, imagine the roach lands on you, bro.
Oh, God.
Just die.
Also, let's talk about your fears real quick.
Okay.
Because I like to keep a ranking.
Right.
Just like an ongoing ranking. So we've got, I would assume, like systemic racism at the very top.
It's
just
not
like injustice.
It's not a fear of mine. It's something that I face daily, and I guess more of like an irritant that I'd like to dismantle.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it fear. How would I live?
So systemic racism, swimming, working on that though.
It's not that swimming is the fear. It's deep and large bodies of water. That's the fear. The fear is the ocean and the sea and pulling me in. People act like, oh, the ocean, we have to love it. We have to treasure it. No, it wants you dead.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't love you. Have you seen those videos, the TikTok videos that were trending? The guy is singing, ooh.
Guess we have different For You pages, but okay.
And it's these like sailors, and it's such sad music, and they were showing like this giant ships on the water, and like all the cargo falling off. Like these were frightening ass videos. This is what you want me to go learn how to survive in? No.
Listen, the ocean is coming for all of us as the world heats and levels rise because of the melting icebergs. Pour one out for the melting icebergs. Just kidding, don't, because that is going to contribute to.
How is pouring out a drink?
Well, you're pouring it on the ground. That's where the ocean's going to wind up. You're making it happen quicker. You're accelerating it. So systemic racism, swimming, and the oceans. We'll just say like water.
Yeah.
And then flying roaches.
Roaches, period. I don't like. Remember Fear Factor?
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to that guy, by the way? Sure he's not doing something stupid like this, right?
Yeah, the first challenge was always eating something. No, being buried in something. And then the second one was always eating something. And then the third had to do with heights.
Yeah.
So they were always like being buried under hissing roaches or like weird. Anyways.
Okay, so rank roaches. Flying,
No. We're not doing that. Stop. Oh, I don't want anything to touch me.
Getting scratchy. Lifting up the earrings. Oh, no. Brutes my
Change the
goats.
subject.
So Alaska.
Yes.
They also have almost permanent daylight because it's summer.
Right.
So it's light for like 20 hours a day. You and I lived in the north for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite Alaska. Dawson Creek, British Columbia. God, what a terrible place.
Not a good place.
Just
Not a
an
good
awful,
place.
speaking of systemic racism,
Yeah.
Dawson Creek, British Columbia. Also everywhere on earth. But it was
Yeah.
like the summer, like the sun really never went down.
I mean, it went down around like
This sun
10.
did.
Okay.
The sun went down.
Glad you got that
and
in.
continues to. You're glad I got it in too. Trust.
But yeah, I'm excited for you to go to Alaska, and you're there for a little over a week.
Yeah, week and a half. Really, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
The people that I'm going to visit, they got a couple of fun like restaurants we're going to check out.
Ooh.
It's this pizza place, and it's called like I want to say Moose Knuckle, but it's like the Moose's Toe or something like that.
Okay.
Or
You're
the-
flying all the way to Alaska to eat pizza.
There are 2 flights connecting in Vancouver. Listen to this. This is how I'm doing,
Okay.
bro. Flying busy. Number 1.
Okay. Very excited for you.
Lie flat seats.
What time is your flight?
I don't really think I want to give that information out.
We don't know when you're flying. I just want to know what time.
Yo,
So is it overnight?
my
when it
ops
makes
are
sense?
always watching me, eh? I think it's like right before dinner. I think it's like around 4.
And it's a long overnight flight where
So
you
it's like
want to sleep?
5 hours to no, I'm lying. It's like first thing in the morning because it's about 5 hours to Vancouver.
That's still a good time.
Then I connect.
Okay.
And then I go to Anchorage. And I think I'm in Anchorage at like 4 in the afternoon. But you're going back in time. You're going 4 hours back in time.
Okay.
So there's that.
Well, yeah, you'll want to sleep.
Lie flat seats.
I'm excited for you.
What? What is this?
Yeah, I flew my first business class.
You sure did with me, with this
you
guy.
a couple months ago. A month?
That was like baby business class though. Not to sound like total douchebags, but whatever. Lean into it at this point.
I don't know why you multiplied that. That was you. That was singular douchebag. Go ahead.
They just have like the flap behind you, regular schmegular seats. You get real cutlery. You get plates.
On our flight?
We didn't even get
It
food
was
on the
a
way
2-hour
back.
flight.
But
and
I
the
did.
company was on
Nobody
strike.
wants to work anymore.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We are a very pro-labor, pro-union show.
Yeah, you
so.
need to start verifying, like making sure that your jokes are understood to be jokes. Because sometimes I get comments like, what did he mean by, yeah, he's joking.
What did he mean by Make America Great Again?
Yeah.
The thing is,
Joke.
I'm looking forward to laying flat. It's too bad you couldn't be on the flight with me. Laying flat with me.
Shall we get into the episode?
Let's do it.
Today we're talking about sustaining satisfaction in long-term relationships.
Are you satisfied? No, I guess we don't want to spoil it, right?
Can you imagine? End of episode.
All right, folks. Here's the P.O. box. Buy some Alaska rhodiola.
Well, first let's talk about what satisfaction means to each of us.
I think it means, to me at least, it means a different things. It's
Okay.
I take a holistic approach to
Ooh.
satisfaction, and that's HOLE-istic. But seriously, folks, satisfaction can be physical. Satisfaction can be like, do you feel? I mean, this whole podcast, we're talking about sexy and secure relationships. Like that's satisfaction to me. If you can feel safe and still like real horned up,
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think that was a great summary, actually.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Safe and secure. Okay. Wrap up and
Yeah.
summary and hinting.
All right,
I love
now we're
that.
getting out
I
of
love
here,
that.
folks. akroseroute.com.
That was great. Absolutely. I agree with that. It is a holistic perspective that you need to be physically satisfied. You need to be mentally satisfied. You need to be spiritually satisfied. And so that comes down to like, yeah, we're business partners, like in our particular relationship. But we're also life partners. So
business patties.
So what does that mean in terms of satisfying each other's personal needs and our own? Because it's being satisfied in a relationship is also about like prioritizing you and making sure that you're not becoming your partner's twin at the end of the day,
or caregiver.
Well, sometimes there are going to be
I had cancer.
Yeah, phases where you need to be the caregiver, but
couldn't
how are
be me.
you?
See you later.
But are you also caring for yourself?
Well, yeah, it's like put on your oxygen mask.
That's what that was.
Before you put on the other person's oxygen mask, right? Like you got to make sure, even like, okay, I'll take it to parenting, for instance. Like we are better, more effective parents when like we've had a bite to eat, when we're getting decent sleep. Our daughter's pediatrician, Dr. Karen, she was like, that's actual. Like,
that's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not her last name.
No, please don't share that.
Her first name. No.
Or yeah, that is her last name. Yes.
Yeah. And she's not a doctor, because how can women be doctors? Remember last episode when you thought Terry was a man, but it was a woman?
God, please let me
and
live
that was
it
a doctor.
down.
How could it be a man? How could it not be a man? She was like, our daughter was really sick, and I was like, well, it's more important that like, Nia gets rest. And she's like, oh no. No, it's more important that you and your wife get rest.
Absolutely.
Because Nia can nap during the day.
Yeah.
You probably can't. So get some rest.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great example of like learning to prioritize your own satisfaction in a relationship. Because like when we were in the newborn phase, for example, zero sleep. It was also the pandemic. So even if I was sleeping, I was dreaming about,
me, hopefully.
I thought the world was ending. So
killing me and eating my flesh. What? Loblaws was out of everything. That's a supermarket for our American listeners.
Okay, yeah. But in thinking about other moments of needing to satisfy ourselves in a relationship, can you think of any examples of when you struggled in particular to find satisfaction in a relationship?
Whenever you and I are like, when we're not on the same page, very little satisfaction.
Okay.
When it feels more like a competition than a partnership, very little satisfaction. And that can be any part, right? That can be like, we're not getting enough physical intimacy.
Yeah.
And I like literally have to take care of myself more than I should have to. That's frustrating when you feel like I'm not there as emotionally as I should be. And that's not like I'm not aware of it. You're just aware of it before I am, maybe. Because like we can both sense when there's a problem, and one of us, anytime, and every couple's different, so I'll just talk about us.
Yeah.
Whenever we have a problem, we're both aware of the problem. It's just one of us is aware of it before the other one.
Yeah.
And it's communicating it, and it's feeling embarrassed that like, oh, like, shoot, is there an issue?
Right.
And like, do I initiate this conversation? Do I call more attention to it?
That's fair. Yeah. I'm just kind of reflecting on that. Yeah. So like when I think I go through a lot of phases when I'm really stressed out. And you and I know this about me at least, or about each other, that when I'm really
stressed out. I track your cycle.
Out,
trust.
That's not even what I was
Okay.
When I'm really stressed out, and that was from like my previous job, for example, or just stressed out in life, we spoke about this in the last episode, that I have, my attachment style is avoidance. So when I'm stressed out, I very much go inward. I dive into work. I hyper focus on one thing.
Because it gives you the illusion of control.
100%. So I don't let anybody in. And that's mentally.
Also physically.
And that's physically.
Yeah.
No, quite literally, right?
Like, come on, just the tip. Half the tip. Just the tip of the tip.
But like I'm completely closed off to the world when I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
And so then when we talk about long-term relationships and having been together for 15 years, together going on 10 years.
Too long.
Married. Okay.
Khalas, too long.
let's talk about some ways that we've learned to like overcome that. To,
Therapy.
Like,
Couples therapy.
Okay.
Seeing a woman every 2 weeks.
Shout out to her.
Yep. And specifically a woman of color.
Oh, shout out to her.
Right?
It was so important.
Because you wanted an old white man. And I'm like, I'm going to be one of those soon.
That doesn't even sound real.
I'm studying right now to
doesn't
be an
even
old
sound
white
real.
man. I'm like, we need a shorty, you know?
Right.
We need someone who, I want both of us to feel comfortable in a situation. And I think that there are certain nuances because we tried out a couple of therapists.
We did. We dated around for
Yep.
a therapist.
And there was one gal in particular. Mm-hmm. You know, she was lovely, but just like not our speed.
I have a question that I ask when I'm speed dating for my therapist.
Yeah.
Because I've gone through this many times, not just with couples therapy, but for my personal sessions.
Is the question, do you wash your feet and legs? If the answer is no, you're probably white.
My question is, have you, and this is particularly if I'm talking to someone who doesn't share who isn't Black, who was in Caribbean, for example,
Yep.
who just doesn't share a lot of my lived experiences, say, have you had a lot of Black women as your clients? And how do you empathize and connect with stories knowing that you have not experienced these things?
How do you sympathize when you can't empathize?
There you go. And depending on how they answer that, because that's not to say you can't be white, you can't be Asian, you have to share my lived experience in order to be like provide me with the right therapy. But depending on how they answer that question, I know if you are or are not the right therapist for me. And so we asked that lady that, and she gave us some roundabout
We've got
answer.
like it's diversity is so important to me. Diversity is our strength, okay?
Right.
You know?
Right.
I take an E all the time.
Yeah.
I'm taking one right now.
Yeah. So we knew she wasn't for us.
But getting a therapist, super helpful for us. And I think ideally both of us, being willing to say, there's a problem. And like when you bring up a problem, I think that you need to bring up your part in the problem.
Yes.
You need to bring up the fact that, and because that's owning your stuff, right? No one's 100% the villain. No one's 100% the hero. And so when you go to somebody, you need to build that trust. You need to cement that trust. And if you come to me and you say, Kolter, we've got a problem. I'm sorry. This is you speaking. I'm sorry for doing this. Then I can trust that like, okay, it's not all 100% me. Because it's never 100% anybody, right?
Yeah. It's hard. It's putting aside your ego, right?
Yeah.
And the longer that you're with someone, the harder it kind of is to still have like surprises and keep like an element of mystery. And
Because you know everything.
well, you don't know everything, but you still like you're still an individual, and you still want to keep that individuality. So when you're trying to like let your ego go at the same time, it's like it's more of yourself that you're kind of not losing. That feels like the wrong word to use, but like being vulnerable with. Yeah. And having to always be vulnerable, that's difficult as well.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
But if you feel like you don't, if being actively vulnerable is exhausting. If you're instead of bathing in cortisol all the time, instead of being like stressed out all the time, that, oh, here we go again. If instead this is my partner. We talked in the last episode about being like one unit. If I can look at my partner and go like, we are one, we are together, then it's not you versus me. It's us versus the problem. It's us versus the stressor. It's your hand scratching your leg, right? You're helping yourself out.
Am I the hand or the leg?
What do you want to be?
I don't like either that you. I guess hand is. You couldn't choose something sexier.
It's the middle two fingers rubbing the bean.
Okay.
Which one do you want to be? I want to be the bean.
I was gonna be the bean actually.
Can I be the fingers?
Okay.
Can I be the tongue?
You absolutely can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I give you permission and consent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Some common challenges that couples face over time.
The sameness of it all.
Oh.
The like, it's just like this is it. It's day in, day out. It's nothing ever changes. And it can be difficult, right? Like
the reality is, yeah, it can be difficult. Like as much as couples are like, oh, that's my best friend. Like if you were to chill with your best friend every day, would that become difficult? Yeah. Depending on your personality, you think I can chill with my best friend? You could chill with my best friend every single day? Even us, we have to just be in separate sides of the house sometimes. You're
Yeah.
in the basement, I'm up in my office, both our doors are closed
Mm-hmm.
because it's based on personality.
And you stink.
Yo,
Those farts? Like a microwaved corpse.
this again.
So keeping it like, I was going to say sexing it up. And then I was like,
What does that mean?
Sexing it up can mean, and that's why I walked it back, is like there's sexing it up with like physical intimacy, certainly,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also sexing it up with like, how do you keep things fresh? How do you keep things exciting?
Yeah.
How do you do the same things over and over again?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, cleaning the house or like making dinner or even like going to the supermarket, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make that like exciting to do?
Infuse the routine.
Yeah.
Yes. And like the pandemic was a huge example of that.
Oh, God.
Where we were stuck. And a lot of relationships ended at that time because they were just thrown together without preparation just yet, right? So the pandemic for us, like we were in tiny ass apartment with a bed, 1 bedroom plus den, and a
baby.
newborn.
A little baby.
And it was like we were stuck in routine and thrown out of our regular routine too. So it's like, how do you infuse the little moments like you're mentioning, like making going to the grocery store and enjoying experience again, rather than this damn man always wants to put the wrong bag of chips in the bag.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to sneak behind him and put it away. Like, tap each other's ass every so often. Make it sexy
a
again.
little more often than that. Maybe like daily.
In the grocery store?
A little consensual molestation.
Oh my God.
In the grocery store.
Okay.
I'm paying for stuff. I'm a customer. Customer's always right.
Yeah.
Up against you. I also feel like, and we're kind of here now, I feel like we go through these chapters
Mm-hmm.
and like we've lived in this house longer than we've lived anywhere.
Yeah.
And we've lived here for like half of our marriage now. And we're pretty much, right?
Wow.
And we're at a point where we're moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, Dawson Creek was a couple of years, Dubai was a couple of years, 2-3 years, and then like living back in Toronto, downtown Toronto for a couple of years. And then 2020 moving forward, like, so now it's
The new parent chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like
Yeah.
it's time to freshen things up. And like, I mean, my parents lived in the same house for like 20 years, right?
Mhm.
You've had an apartment in your family for like 30 years at this point. And I think it's important to like try to get out there, I think every once in a while you have to reinvent yourself.
I agree, but even that's difficult because you need to make sure that your partner's on the same page with
Yeah.
that. Because there have been chapters, for example, where I'm like, I'm ready. We've been here. Toronto is expensive as hell. Why are we working so hard to stay in this expensive ass city that
For the
does
clout.
not love us? Let's go somewhere else. Let's travel the world. And you're like, no, not right now. How do you balance the two? You can't necessarily get someone else out of their comfort zone before they're ready, because then they'll also be resentful of you.
Yeah.
And like I that's my example, but I'm sure there are plenty of examples where you're just ready. Like starting this podcast, for example, you're like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, does the world need another podcast?
I mean, as long as there's like a 30-year-old white guy in it, I feel like, I feel like representation matters and there
Okay.
needs to be more of that.
Yeah, thank
Truly.
you.
Truly.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But that, for instance, like that was a big step and we were able to both quit our jobs.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, it was the right
You
choice
know?
in the end. Like you had a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like it can be like pulling teeth. For example, getting me on the same page
Mm.
and getting me on board. Remember those dreams you had, all those goals of yours,
Oh
that
my
vision board.
God.
Have you left him yet, sis? Have you fixed your life? If you haven't, the remedy, Alaska rhodiola, fix your life.
So does that mean like,
You win these questions every single time. If you have to ask the questions, you are not the audience. You will not understand. Alaska rhodiola. Fix your life. Is it? Thank you, Kyle. Play 15. Woman owned. Run in Alaska. Can help increase libido, energy, mental clarity. You thought I was stumbling? No, that was a setup because mental clarity.
so that's like in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when Willy Wonka played by Gene Wilder.
What?
He comes out of the chocolate factory, right? And he's stumbling. He's got a cane.
Ah,
right?
yes. Oh.
And then he stumbles. Uh-oh. The boys know what I'm talking about. Kyle and Peter know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He stumbles. What? Turns into a somersault. He's okay. He's better than okay, everybody.
What's that to do with anything?
You set up. It wasn't a stumble. It was a setup.
It was a setup. Absolutely. AKRoseroot.com. Play 15. Get 15% off. Alaska Rhodiola. Fix your life. Leave him.
Don't leave me.
I didn't say I'm leaving
I'm gonna leave you.
I said you're gonna leave me.
Yeah. AKRoseroot.com.
I get to keep the Alaska Rhodiola and fix my life. See?
You're
Already working.
You're covering that.
Already working. Sprinkle it on him. Fix him.
And so realizing that you're going to have to compromise and that there can be excitement in like accepting, there can be excitement in giving up control and giving up power and realizing that like, okay, I want to move here and I want to do this.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do all of that, but we can I can get a couple of things that I want.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to cede control to Dominique for a few other things. And I am now embracing, and listen, maybe it took almost dying a couple of times from cancer. Maybe it took a pandemic. Maybe it took like going to couples therapy. Maybe it took becoming a dad. Maybe it took trying some portobellos, like a million different things. Regardless, I'm now at a stage in my life, and I want this for everybody, where you're like, I'm confident, and I feel like whatever situation we're in, we're going to flourish. We're going to thrive. Because it's happened, and then you gain that confidence when it happens over and over.
Yeah.
You go up to the plate and you keep hitting the ball over and over again. You gain confidence, right? And I'm excited for the next chapter, and we neither one of us knows exactly what it's going to be 100%. And like that's also exciting.
I have a few thoughts there. Because when you
What are their
mention
names? Are they in the room with us?
When you mention being in a place where like you're confident and you're hitting the ball out of the park over and over again, how much of that is just maturing and coming of age? Like how much of that is we're now in our 30s and we've made enough mistakes in our 20s that we're like we've learned stuff that we could bring into this new chapter of our life. And like we were just lucky enough that we started dating in our teen years, married in our early 20s, and now here we are in our 30s, having learned so much together, grown so much together, that we can apply these lessons together in our marriage. Like a lot of it's luck, I think.
Luck is just a construct. The things, like you're saying, maybe it's not those specific things I mentioned. I think it's the collection of those specific things.
Okay.
Like those are the things that we've done. Other people might do those and get a completely different result.
Yeah.
Other couples might not do that and be in the same situation we are now because of like a different set of decisions.
Sure.
Like that's essentially what you are individually, is a collection of your decisions.
Yeah. You know what?
And as a couple, it's the decisions you make together.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the choices that we made, the decisions that we made that helped us to get, like, I'll say
Buying
this.
a hot tub.
Can I finish the question? I'll say this. Almost 10 years into our marriage, I am satisfied. Physically, mentally, spiritually, individually satisfied. Perhaps there are some gaps on your end and you can talk to that. But let's talk about some of the tactics that we've used to keep that romance alive.
I'm going to hear what you have to say. What do you got?
Well, you threw out hot tub, and yeah, that immediately comes to mind. But like, I think it's and we reference this hot tub moment quite a bit, and I promise you one day we're going to talk about it. Yeah, have a hot tub episode.
That'll be our Patreon episode.
But what that all comes down to is intentionally communicating on each other's, like meeting each other where we are.
Speaking each other's language.
Love languages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finishing each other's
sandwiches.
Ah!
I've never seen Frozen.
You've never seen Frozen?
No.
So have I watched it 12 times?
I don't know. You're a better parent than I am.
Clearly.
Although that's a lot of screen time. I don't know.
But yeah, so like intentionally communicating. So in moments, you're so good at this. Like if you want to try something new sexually, for example, you will describe that. You will share a video. You will let me know.
Been trying.
I know that that's what you want to do, at least. Whether I want to or not is my business. And that's another thing. It's setting boundaries as well.
Just give the boy something.
I see Kyle nodding. I would love to hear your input here.
Yeah.
Help me out.
I was nodding to like the setting boundaries part.
No. You were actually, Kyle, nodding to the give Kolter what he wants part.
That's not how sex
right?
works, but please go ahead.
I mean, as being a friend of Kolter as well.
Thank you.
I know. Wait, hold on.
I need to hear this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I want Kolter to be happy. But I also need Kolter to respect your boundaries.
Period.
Yeah. No, we can do both.
And he should be happy respecting
Just
my
shift
boundaries.
the boundaries.
Right.
Oh, so Kolter just wants you
Get
to
her a couple of
change.
drinks, Kyle. How about that? How about running upstairs and grabbing some tequila?
Okay, so I'll go to the bar. I'll bring some bottles
Thank
down,
you.
and then
Thank
we'll
you.
ask this question again. Maybe like half an hour. How many shots can you do?
That's
in like
not how
15
consent
minutes?
works,
Oh,
Kyle.
this girl works quickly. Trust
right.
me.
What?
Yeah, she gonna put them back. And then she'll be putting me back too.
That's gonna be on the
Anyways.
Patreon. No, but no. In all serious, I was nodding just in the way that I think being in a relationship, like a long-term relationship as well, for like 12 years, I know the importance of like setting boundaries. Like you need to set boundaries in like so many different aspects of your relationship. And then just quickly, while I have the mic here, going back to what you guys were talking about, I think a lot of people will understand what you said, Dom, about the part. We made so many mistakes in our 20s.
Right.
And I feel like, I'm kind of paraphrasing now, it seems like you're kind of saying, I've made so many mistakes in our 20s, but these mistakes have set us up as like you and Kolter
As a couple,
to do well and to do these things that you're doing like right now, like creating a business,
Right.
making good money, and like, you know, and being happy in what your relationship is. And I think so many people need to realize that like your 20s can be a tough time because you're learning and you're developing, and then when you have a partner with it as well, it can be a lot. But I
Yes.
think each decade almost becomes a chapter. So like what you guys are going to be like in your 40s, it's going to be a whole new era, but
Better
you're going
be,
to look back in your 30s and be like, or look back when you were in your 30s and be like, oh, all these little events and things that happened set us
Shaped
up to be
this.
where we are now.
Exactly.
It's gonna be like 100 years before I'm 40 though. So I'm very young.
That's how that works.
Yeah. I'm 19 and a half right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
wow, we got a cougar over here in the
Yeah. Cradle robber over here. Look out.
What are some of the other things we've done to keep the passion alive?
Going on a vacation every 7 years has been good for us. That's
so good.
when we go on vacation though. Oh my God, what a reset.
No, vacation Kolter.
Oh man.
I said this in Grenada. Nobody loved Grenada more than Kolter
Bro.
himself. Like,
And like not in like a culture vulture, like
no.
inappropriate.
Just like,
kinda
just happy to be here.
Just listen, I'm along for the ride. Go with the flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need another vacation.
We need another vacation,
We need the last couple of trips we've been on have been business trips.
which is still
That's
it's-
great.
Yeah. Something more sustainable, maybe like something that we can do often. Like on the show, we have check-in,
Yeah.
right? And there's a reason why we start with the check-in before diving into like some of these deeper themes and topics, because like, let's get a temperature check first. Let's see, like, tell me how you're doing. Like, tell me if you have
need a
space
vacation.
to-
That's how I'm doing.
Speaking of vacations, I just want to jump. I think it'd be a good plug, or not a good plug.
Plug.
Oh, Alaska Rodeo.
Yeah. Okay.
No, what are you guys thinking of vacation wise? Like, I want to know, and I think maybe viewers want to know, like, what are some places you guys want to go in the next
Japan.
even 5 years? Japan.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
choice.
been on his
Want to do Japan.
to-do list for a while.
That's a busy trip though.
yeah.
You're doing
yeah.
you're crossing a lot of stuff off the list.
Yeah, you're not sitting on a resort
No.
or in a hotel room. Somewhere I've always wanted to visit. Well, I finally made it to Grenada after
Amazing.
so long. I'd love to see Ghana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go for December. They had Year of the Return back in 2018, which is inviting all the people of the diaspora to come back and see Ghana.
Must have been powerful, man.
Oh, when I see videos, like hearing about people who had their feet washed as a way of saying like welcome home,
Jeez.
And just like it's a good time. Like it's dope parties. Like yeah, there's the deep, ancestral part of it. But then there's also just like the beautiful culture and food and music. And yeah.
I'm not getting my feet washed in Ghana.
No,
that
you're
would
not.
be so inappropriate.
I don't think you'd be invited to.
I'm
can wash feet.
Yeah. Boots are staying on.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, this is a pretty strong knot. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go chill in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
You let me know when it's appropriate for me to come out. That's fun.
So let's end with this. What are some quick, sustainable ways?
Because that's the thing, like going on vacation, or even like us going on vacation every 6 or 7 years, which like that ends. We got to go on vacation this year. Good God. You could do like a weekend trip or something like that, something a little bit more affordable. And you don't have to go to like, some $10,000 vacation, right? Where you're staying at a 5-star resort or whatever. Sure. I think if you're traveling somewhere, especially if you don't think you're going to be back, do the things, eat at the fancy restaurants, do the touristy stuff. Sure. Like you're going once, likely just go and do it.
If it's accessible to you. Remember, this needs to be like put into context.
Everyone's different.
What was that face?
He was jerking.
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I wasn't.
The
I
audience.
have carpal tunnel, so.
Yeah, carpal tunnel from doing that too much.
Yeah,
okay.
Truly. Got to switch to my left hand. Make it feel like someone else is doing it. A weekend away. It could be a road trip.
Yeah.
It's difficult also if you have kids, right? Who's going to watch the kids?
When I finished my job, you bought me, and we still haven't gone. Maybe by the time this is out, we would have finally gone. Doubtful. You bought me a one-night stay at a hotel I've always wanted to stay at. And we're going to get room service and do the whole nine. Now, like, Nia, she got a fever. Like,
just ruined it for us.
She got an ear infection or something.
Dude,
so, like,
you get everything handed to you.
But
you couldn't give us one goddamn night out?
But stuff like that. Like, last year, a couple of years ago, for Mother's Day, for my birthday, I just wanted to stay in a hotel by myself. And even if it was by myself, it was for us because it was my ability or my chance. Wow, my hair's all up in my eye. It was my chance to reset and bring my whole self back to our family.
Again, like did I say it earlier this episode, putting on your oxygen mask before someone else's?
Sure, yeah.
Like, that's an example of that. You got to make sure that you're nourished.
Yeah.
So that you can nourish others.
Ooh, okay, bars.
Yeah.
Okay, bars. Are you the new Peter?
Mr.
Peter's
Bridgerton.
been dropping, Peter's been dropping like little one-liners all day.
He has, yeah.
Yeah.
But we also got TikTok Shakespeare over here.
Yes.
So.
Thank you. Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Is what I meant to say. Yes. Yes.
Here's a quick one. It's physical touch.
Yes.
You are always begging for that. Just showing that you.
I want a vacation all over your titties and no, hold my hand. Hold my hand.
That hand went away so
Hold
fast.
my hand. Thank you. I'm going to pay for you to get your nails done.
Oh, do I need to get a fill?
Yeah. Also, we have a joint checking account, but like, put it through the business. It's a business expense.
But you just shaded me really hard. What was that?
No, honey, your nail tech shaded you.
Ooh, we got some drama going on here.
TikTok Shakespeare. Give me your hand back.
Let's get into pillow talk.
No, give me your hand one last time. Pillow talk is the part of the show where we ask a bit of an intimate question, and the show's pretty intimate already, right? Sounded like Fred Armisen there for a
I think
second.
he had a little stroke there.
Right?
All right. So today's question, pillow talk, it's a little more intimate. We like to like peel back the bedroom curtain a little bit. We need a bed like that. Real quick aside, one of those like
4-post beds, like
oh my god, with the canopy
like Scrooge?
bed. Yes, like Scrooge. And we need to get those like Victorian England, like with like a dressing cap with a nightgown, and then a candle. Yeah, and we need to sleep like this. Me.
Are you thinking of the Disney version with like Scrooge McDuck?
Maybe. And then whenever you go, me. The cap kind of waves a little bit.
This is very much Scrooge McDuck. Okay.
If you could pinpoint one aspect of our relationship or personalities that has kept the fire alive, what would it be?
Oh, you're asking. Okay. Your humor. Can I take my hat back? Thank you. I would say it's your sense of humor has kept the fire alive, and your ability to make really difficult situations or really serious moments and chapters that much more enjoyable because you bring like a level of humor.
But sometimes it's a little much.
sometimes it's a little much. But like you and I, like we can giggle in bed, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when we're like, when,
I didn't want to give too much info.
when we're greasing, fam. When we're
I
greasing.
didn't want to give too much info. But like, yeah, you and I, like we make every situation, like we're best friends first. We're friends first. And so like, because we're able to depend on that humor that we both share, like even the hard stuff, that's not what I meant by the hard
I didn't
stuff.
say anything.
Even the hard situations become a little bit easier because we can laugh through them.
Look at you looking like a wrapped gift over there.
Stuff.
That little bow on top. Yeah, fam.
Okay, if you can pinpoint one, what is it? Aspects of a relationship or personalities that keep the fire alive, what would it be?
Listen, are you trying all the stuff I want to try? No. Are you trying some of the stuff? Yeah.
Okay, because boundaries.
A couple of things in particular. But also like maybe we also we just try things. We try things.
That's your negotiation.
We try things 2 times. Because the first time you haven't done it before, it's kind of whatever. You go, maybe I like this, maybe I don't. The second time, then you know whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I maybe I will eventually try it, but today I'm saying no.
I just feel like I almost died a couple of times from cancer, and to honor the fact that I'm still alive, maybe you're like, I'll do some of that stuff sometimes.
I'm just saying I'm a black woman and I experience
I acknowledge that.
and systemic racism and institutional racism and personal racism. Every
Your husband
day.
almost died twice. I'm not erasing the other stuff.
I'm not erasing your stuff either.
You are though.
Am I?
Yeah. I did chemo for this. Terrible.
For this moment?
Terrible. Awful. Absolutely awful. Let's get to a mailbox question.
Let us. If you want to submit your own mailbox question, you can do so at playinghousepod.com. You can submit a question through audio, and Kolter is going to hit the play button.
I got to move this thing. All right, here we go.
Hey, y'all. I'm a newlywed, and I wanted to know what your first year of marriage was like, and if you have any advice for a newlywed couple. Love the podcast.
First of all, congratulations. I know who this is from, and I'm super excited for her. She wants to stay anonymous, and that's cool. So congratulations. Your first year of marriage. It's a big deal. Ours was rocky.
Listen,
to say the least.
Ours wasn't in the same place for a while, right?
Oh, that too.
We got married. I moved back out west. I had a nervous
moved
breakdown
out
a
to
month
Dubai.
later.
Yeah.
You joined me. We went to Dubai.
Yeah.
We were also apart for a month there. Yeah, like it was, but then we got to the first year.
And then, honestly, when we celebrated our first year, Kolter literally said, "Oh my God, we did it!"
Yeah,
like it was not easy. It was for some reason, and we lived together for years before that. Yeah,
yeah. It was the shift in expectations.
That's it. It was the absolute shift. So it was coming from almost roommates, and where the name of the podcast came from was from my mom, because she used to mock me when Kolter and I first moved together, and she said, "Are you playing house?" Meaning like we're pretending to be man and wife. And then we did get married. But
also,
for some reason,
your parents never got married. So what were they
but
playing
they got
house?
engaged.
Okay. How'd that work out?
Do you want me to cry in this episode too about my daddy issues? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Anyways, for some reason, it was like, okay, but now that there's a ring on my finger, now that I'm calling you husband, and now that you want me to change my last name, which I didn't do right away, but it's like, now I need more from you. And without ever communicating that to you, I just expected it.
Yeah.
And how on earth were you supposed to deliver upon that?
And like we were 24 years old.
We were 24
years
old. Yeah.
Just little. Couple old guys,
And then we're going to look back today and say we were 33. What did we know? What did we know?
I'm 19, but and a half.
At least you chose a legal age.
Should never lie about your age. 19 and a half, you caught me. The skin looks good, though. The skin looks good.
So my advice for your first year of marriage would be to count it as the continuation of the relationship you've already had. Not as day one,
It's an evolution.
It's an evolution.
It's like when a Pokemon becomes
I like that.
you know?
Yeah. But still not saying, okay, this is day one. The stakes have changed. The rules have changed. It's like if yesterday was day 700, today's day 701. Like continue the relationship that you've had. And if you do have new expectation, if you do have
communicate,
if you do have something new that you want to try,
many things.
Maybe you met as people who like loved to travel and you're like, you know what? I think I'm ready to settle down. Maybe have a kid, for example, buy a house, like plant some roots. That's okay. That just needs to be communicated. And you also need to be open and flexible because now you're a unit. Now you're two people who need to function as one. So also be open to the fact that she may not be ready for that. It's the communication.
100%. Follow this woman. Speaking of communication, follow this woman at Dom Creates on TikTok and at Dom.creates on Instagram. And I am at Kolter Talks across all socials. Our website, playinghousepod.com. And our P.O. box.
Hey, right
it's
over here.
We just started doing this once, and we're doing it every.
It's the thing.
It's the whole thing.
We're not gonna learn it.
We're not. It's a fun. You know, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know either.
But you're the best. We love you so much. We're going to be back on Monday, like we are every Monday.
Yes. Subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the podcast, and answer the question for yourself.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your take.
And if you're hot, we'll take pics. And if you're really hot, we'll take videos. And if you're not, please unfollow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wrap it up.
I don't have to. I'm sterile. Bye.